everyone, and welcome to Getting Started on Red Hat Infrastructure for Windows Administrators, provided by Red Hat and Stone Door Group. My name is Andrea Alexander with Stone Door Group, and I'll be your host for today's event. In today's workshop, we will demonstrate how to set up the proper Windows to Red Hat infrastructure using Satellite 6 and Red Hat Identity Manager, so users can access both systems and shared file storage using their Active Directory credentials. Our presenters are Eric Archer, Michael Chen, supported by Michael McDonough, all senior consultants at the Stone Door Group. For those of you not familiar with Stone Door Group, we are a Red Hat Apex partner specializing in DevOps transformation. We work with companies of all sizes to implement best practices using Red Hat solutions. As part of our service offerings, we have two items that may be of interest to those attending today's session. The first is our Satellite 6 Accelerator engagement. This service provides the end-to-end solution to bring your RHEL servers into a single console management platform, allowing you to manage your infrastructure with a single console. In our Accelerator engagement, we take care of installing and configuring Satellite 6, registering clients, and integrating with Active Directory. We do provide all the subscriptions needed as well as consulting services to ensure you successfully implement Satellite and have the necessary controls in place. Key areas improved through the implementation of Red Hat Satellite include content management, patching and software management, as well as provisioning and subscription management. What we found is that most of our customers have Red Hat servers in their infrastructure, but have limited strategy around unified management. This leads to support, security, and compliance risks. So this service has been a very successful engagement with our clients who are looking to mitigate the downside risk by streamlining management of their infrastructure. A typical engagement will usually take around 2 to 3 weeks from start to finish. The second item I wanted to bring to your attention is our complimentary 5-day access to today's lab environment. This is offered to those attendees who participate in the entire workshop and also schedule an initial consultation with us. To request your complimentary consultation and access to your 5-day lab, please email us at letsdothis@stonedoorgroup.com, and our team will get you scheduled for a follow-up. This information is also available on our website at stonedoorgroup.com, and we'll be sending out this deck following today's event, so you have access to these details as well. And you can find more about Stone Door Group and our offerings at stonedoorgroup.com. And thank you again for joining us today for today's event. Red Hat and Stone Door Group have teamed up to provide a series of workshops to enhance your knowledge and skills with Red Hat solutions. This is the first in our workshop series. Following today, we will host 3 additional workshops. June 9th, we have OpenShift on IBM. July 11th, Red Hat for Windows Administrators Part 2. And August 5th, Migrate Legacy Applications. We hope you will join us for these events in the coming months. Our team will send the series schedule and the registration information to all participants following today's event.
Okay, so for the people that are still here, I'm going to go ahead and pretty much do a rerun of what Eric did. And you guys should have the lab instructions. And I'm just going to go through them step by step and do them online. So if you look, at the first exercise, it's pretty much just git clone and running the Ansible playbook. And so I've already done that so that we don't have to wait for that. And then you can see the Ansible playbook being run, and that pretty much just sets up the environment that we're using. And then there's some tasks to tell you which UUID and how to log into all the different servers and clients. And so the first thing we're doing is logging into the satellite server. So the IP of the satellite server of the server is actually the IP that you would log in through a web URL. So the first thing we're doing is going to import the subscription manifest. So if you go to Content, Subscriptions, Import Manifest, you can browse. And so we'll let this go real quick. If you're with a larger company, sometimes the manifest, change them or to update them can take half an hour, an hour. So if it's something you're doing, it's something that you might do right before you go to lunch. Okay, so now that we have our subscriptions, we can go to Content and Red Hat Repositories. And the first one we want to search for is the Satellite Tools RPMs. We'll enable this one. And then we'll go ahead and enable the base RPMs too. So you see they're both enabled on this side. Usually they're the more important ones the more useful ones are starred. We'll go to sync status. We'll expand all. We'll synchronize the SAT tools because they're quick. We'll start the sync for the base RPMs. It'll probably take about 15 minutes, but we'll come back to that. First thing we'll do is create the activation key. So if we go to Content, Activation Keys, we'll create an activation key. We're naming it 55AK. And we're using the library environment and the default organization view. We'll save it. We'll look at the subscriptions that we can associate with it. We'll add whatever ones we need from the subscription manifest we just sent over. Go to repository sets. Oh, wait. We will take the satellite tools and select override to enabled. Okay, and then let's see. Next thing we're doing is defining a operating system. We'll create an operating system since we're using A2 that hasn't been defined yet. We'll name it rel_8.2 with a major release of 8 and a minor release of 2. In the family of Red Hat. I also just got an email from Renee saying that if anyone wants to join the lab session, they can raise their hands. You can raise your hands and we can break you off into the lab environment. Okay, let's see, where were we? So Red Hat family, you click it to bring it over, x86. We'll go over to partition table. We want Kickstart default. Installation media, Fedora mirror. Let's see. Then submit. Now we'll create a host group. Create host group. We're naming it 55 host group, 55HG. The lifecycle environment is going to be library. Content view is going to be the default organization view. Content source is going to be our SAT6 server. Puppet environment is going to be production. Then we go to operating system. We want x86 and the Red Hat 8.2 that we just created. For the media, we want Fedora mirror. We go back up to locations to verify we are in the lab environment. And we want to make sure our organization's SDG. We want to verify our activation keys. We click on it. We only created one activation key. Submit. So now if we go to hosts, content hosts, we see that it's not currently subscribed. We know that's fine because it's subscribed to the Red Hat portal. So I currently have a bastion open. And let's see, so we're going to SSH to the Rel A client. Okay. Now we want to edit the host file. Our UID is F981. Verify that it's there. We're going to do the same for the IDM server. See, it's in there. Download the Bootstrap py Python script. Change the permissions. Then run the script. So we see that it's waiting for a certificate. So we could either wait 10 minutes, but it's better if we just go back to infrastructure capsules. And we accept the certificate. So now we can go back to our hosts and content hosts. And we can see our relay client's been added to the SAT6 server. So that's pretty much a redo of the SAT6 demo. And so we'll move on to the IBM server. We'll install the IDM server. Sorry, IPA server. We'll verify the host name, which is correct. The domain name. The realm, which is the pretty much the capitalized domain name. And then we want the directory manager password. We want the IP admin password. We want to configure the DNS folders, yes. We will pick those two, yes. And then skip anything else. This doesn't matter since there's no reverse zones. Yes or no will be fine. So just yes. Do we want to configure with this? Yes. So we'll wait for a few minutes for this to complete. So this document I'm working off of, everybody should have that, and it's probably something that'll be pretty good to work off of if you do get the lab environment. I feel, especially playing around in the GUI within the SAT6 environment and in the IDM, it gives you a better feel of it. And if you have 5 days to play with it, you can get into something more advanced like content views and lifecycle environments and other things like that if you want to play around with those things. I think there were people asking about DNS and CA, and I think that's one of the things that probably when you're architecting your IDM is probably the most important, to decide whether you want internal CA, external CA, or if you want to use IDM CA, but default to an external CA that you might have. And for DNS, you can use internal or external DNS depending on how you need to set up your environment and how you have DNS set up in your environment. Okay, now that your IDM server is set up, you can verify that these ports are open, but usually you make sure that they're open before you install the IDM server. Now we need to install the AD trust components. IDM server admin password. We're going to accept the default here, accept the domain name default. Yes, to override the default. And then we'll just wait for it to finish. Now establish cross-trust. Get a Kerberos ticket. Active Directory Domain Administrator. Password. Okay, so now we're going to restart Kerberos. Restart SSD. Create an IDM external user group. Create an internal group. IDM external user group. AD domain user group. Accept the 4 defaults. So now we're going back and we're logging into the IDM server. And in. So we're going to create a user, add IDM user 01. Go. Let's see what else. And then we'll have this password. Add. And we see IBM user 01 that was added. So we're still in the server, so we can exit out of the server. SSH. We're going to go into the relay client. We're going to see. A name server of and then we're going to install IPA client on the Rel A client. We'll accept the first default. And then do we want to configure this system as is with those parameters? Yes. Admin. Password. So now if we go into identity and hosts, we'll see the clients there. So now we're configuring CIFS on the Rel A client and mounting a Windows shared file system. I think I installed it and let's see, this could be successful. Okay, let's see if this still works. Bastion, etc. Let me make sure I didn't do it in etc. Install command sudo IDM Client install. Let me try this again. All right, let's see if we got it now. The AD directory, data directory should already be made. Sneak mount sky. Check the available space. Echo the host name. Play the files on the Windows system. If we exit out of here, and if we SSH back in as IDM user, it'll ask us to change the password. .96. SSH IDM user 01 10.0.25.96. Oh. I created a user without the E. So now if I do an ID, I can see IDM user without the E. And now if we exit out of this, let's see, we can SSH. We'll see the AD. And then we will see the AD user. And that should be it.